Hi everyone. I'm running around like a little bit of a chicken with no head, put it that way. So welcome to Collette's Thermomix Kitchen. My name is Collette Mitrega. I'm a Thermomix Consultant here in Australia with thousands of customers all over Australia. So it doesn't matter what state you're living in. You can select me as your consultant if you are looking to buy a Thermomix and you don't already have an active consultant. So reach out if I can help you in any way on that field, and then you can join my wonderful community. So we're going to make a really simple, quick dish today, which is quite yummy, and we're going to ump up the flavour just a little bit because I think it needs it. And it's a Yasai miso ramen, and it's a cookidoo recipe, so you can make this quite easily, and we all know how amazing cookidoo is. It steps us through really, really easily. So basically Yasai means vegetables, so it's a vegetable ramen, but I am going to sneak in there a little bit of chicken today. But if you're vegetarian, this will be a great one as is for you to make. So hitting start, let's get going.
Are you putting in the chicken in just for me?
I am, just a little bit. I love vegetarian. I probably eat vegetarian meals, believe it or not, about 4 times a week. I don't eat a lot of meat. But
chicken is close to being vegetarian.
And it's only a little bit I'm putting in there. Okay, so just like we talked about in my last live, we always start off with those kind of basic aromatics. And again, this is not a Western, it's the other side of the world. So we start off with those classics in the bowl, and we're going to pop in there some garlic cloves. Now, just a little tip on these garlic cloves. So I'm doing half a quantity as per normal. Now, can you see the little green bit in the center? That is fine if you're cooking, but if I was putting this into a salad or into a salad dressing or something, I would take that out. It's a bit bitter, so just keep that in mind. It's not a very nice taste. So garlic has gone in. Ginger. Now, again, with your ginger, you probably all know this. Ginger is pretty expensive, so you don't want to be cutting off the skin because it's going to have quite a bit of waste. So you should always, or I recommend you just use a little spoon. A teaspoon is great, and you just peel that skin off. Doesn't take long at all. And that means you can get into all those little nooks and crannies, and you will have a beautifully peeled piece of ginger with very little wastage. There we go.
I'm assuming you're better off using fresh ginger rather than ginger in the little containers.
Oh yeah, look, you can make ginger in here. There are recipes for it, but it stems off from the fresh ginger. So that's all beautifully peeled now, and that's all I had waste, a lot less than if you're cooking. So ginger's going in, and with ginger, because it's such a hard thing, I do like to just maybe cut that just a little bit thinner. So ginger's going in, ticking it off. Love the checklist on here. And then it's asking for some red chilli. Now, just in case you don't know, if you've got a whole chilli, the way to get the seeds out is to rub it between your hands, cut the base off and shake them out. That way you're not going to get any chilliness on your hands. And remember, Andrew, what's the hot part of the chilli?
Membrane.
Membrane, yeah, not the seeds and not the skin. It's the membrane.
Do you remember, anyone remember Collette testing me that by trying it? She's wicked, she's wicked.
No, I just,
You enjoy seeing me in pain sometimes.
I do. All right, so chili's going in. Now, in my book, there's one thing missing from here. And whenever I'm doing this for the Asian kind of areas, it's got to have an onion in it. So I'm just popping a little shallot in there for extra flavour. All right, so that's all done. So click off and on to next. And of course, now we're going to chop this up. Now with your TM7, guys, just remember when you're putting your lid on, you don't want to be putting it on and turning it. You want to line up this with your handle, and then you're just putting it straight down. Nice and simple. All right, so now we're going to chop. Hitting next. And of course, now it's telling us to scrape down that lid. Now the TM7, the lid is held in place when it's cutting above speed 2 or going above speed 2 for safety, and it's held in place with really strong magnets, so you won't be able to get it off until it's released. Below speed 2, you can just whip up that lid and see what you want. And believe it or not, I think it's about 80% of the time you do cook below speed 2. So it's an interesting fact. So there we go. We know how amazing that is. All those beautiful aromatics. And I'm sure if you're following me and you've watched some of my lives, you'll know exactly what the next step is. How all recipes start. Can you guess, Andrew?
What's that?
What the next step might be? So we've chopped all our aromatics. What do we do next?
Oh, I wish you stopped testing me. Just want to say hello to everyone who's reached out and said hello to Collette and myself. Thank you for that.
We need to saute them off. Hi everybody. Thank you for joining me. I think it's just amazing. So just a little bit of oil going in there.
Oh, I just got a whiff of the aroma that's coming out from there.
And it's not even cooked yet.
It's quite pungent, isn't it?
All right, so I've done that. Tick that off. Heading to next. Don't you love those of you that have a TM7? I mean, it's just amazing, this big screen. I think it's my favourite bit. So visual. Okay, so now we're just going to saute there. So it's a light saute in this instance, literally for just 2 minutes at 100 degrees at speed 2.
If we had a prize, if she don't, Raylene would have got that. She said saute before.
Ah, Raylene, excellent. I hope you're coming into our lounge this afternoon, Raylene, and cooking along with us. We're making a beautiful, one of my favourite desserts, a tarte tatin with a beautiful anglaise. I think there's quite a few people that have registered for that. So that's in my customer lounge. So I like with my customers to do kind of extra stuff so we all have fun. And our cook-alongs usually are accompanied by a glass of wine, and we chat and learn and cook at the same time. And at the end, we all have this beautiful tarte tatin, amazing. All right, so now with the TM7, you know, often you can't hear a thing that's going on in there. So if you just want to make sure it's working, you've got the little red light, happy smiley face here, the lips, and you can also check where you are over here. So I'm sure you can see that all from there, but what we've got is we've got the temperature. So at the moment it's 85 degrees, and it probably won't get up to 100, but that's okay. So it's at 90 degrees, maybe it will. We've got the countdown, so I've got 50 seconds left, and then we've got the little padlock. Now that padlock is open, so that means I can whip the lid off at any time. The blade stops, and when I pop the lid on, it continues where it left off. Love that feature. All right, so about 40 seconds to go. So, I mean, who doesn't love a ramen? How do you say it, Andy?
Ramen.
Ramen.
Yeah, our boys absolutely love it.
Yeah, you know, it's just full of goodness, isn't it?
Our eldest son went to Japan last year and was trying ramens in different restaurants throughout Japan. I think it was one of his highlights was his ramen tour.
Yeah, absolutely. And they're surprisingly easy to make, but the secret is you've got to get a good broth. Now, we're only doing, this takes about half an hour before it's ready, and it literally takes about 10 minutes of your time, so you can go off and do other stuff. But we're not going to develop a super broth in that time, but we are going to develop a really nice broth. So let's carry on. So it's telling me here to take the lid off. Lid's coming off. All beautifully sauteed, lovely. So remember, I did sneak in to the mix there a shallot. All right, now it's saying here filtered water. Now remember I'm halving the quantity. Now instead of filtered water, if you're doing a vegetarian version, I would add some veggie stock. So remember, if you've got the veggie stock paste that you've made up, that will keep in the fridge for up to 6 months. You can freeze it, but it never freezes solid because of the high salt content. So whenever you're using that, just remember the salt's in there already, so maybe not quite as generous when adding your salt. But for me, to ump that up for flavours that we like, what I have got is some of my homemade chicken stock. And you can see it's homemade. Look at the colour. The depth of flavour here is amazing. So I think I've got about 500 mils or so, and that will be fine. So it's tarred back already for me, so I'm just going to add that in. Beautiful chicken stock. And I am going to add in a little bit more water because we want to...
Fly.
Oh, get that fly away.
Max, get the fly. Our dog catches flies. The trouble is he catches them and eats them.
I'm just going to top this up with a little bit of water. That's fine. Because it is a broth and we don't want it super thick. So perfect. All right, now into that we're going to add our miso paste. Now, I love miso. If you follow me, you know I use this all sorts. And last week, Andrew and I had a cauliflower mash, and I always add in there a bit of miso. It's just a lovely flavour pairing, and it goes so well in so many dishes, and it's a great kind of stock base. So basically, you buy it in Woolies. It comes, you get red, you get white, there are different types of miso paste. White being probably the most common one that's used. It's not expensive, it lasts a whole heap of time in your fridge. That's kind of what it looks like. And it's very delicious, so definite staple in my fridge. So into the bowl I'm going to add that paste. So we've got the chicken stock, and now we've got the miso in, so our broth is starting to develop flavour. Yum, we love flavour. So the next thing we're going to add in here, just a little bit of Chinese 5 spice. Done that, and then a little star anise. Now I'm just going to break off some of this because star anise is quite powerful, and because I'm doing half a quantity, I just want a small piece of this going in. So that's done, and of course salt and pepper. Now in my homemade chicken stock, I don't salt it, so that way I've got the control that I actually want. So in goes plenty of salt, plenty of pepper. You can use black, white. I'm actually loving the Himalayan pink sea salt at the moment. Can you see the actual quality there of the flakes? They're probably the best flakes that I've actually come across.
They look super quality.
I love popping the salt in. I don't know why. Makes me feel good. All right, so salt and pepper's gone in. Hitting next. All right, now it wants us to insert a simmering basket. So here is the simmering basket. So popping that in, and you want to make sure the hinge is at the handle. Okay, so pop that in. And the reason for that, I'm just going to put a bit of paste there. I'm going to pop that back into the bowl. Is simply that it makes it easier for us to get out. A bit awkward for me because I'm back to front here, but that's good. So I've done that, and now what we're going to do is we're going to add something I absolutely love, and these are edamame beans. So absolutely edamame is kind of what I always call them, edamame, and you can buy them in Woolies just like this, peeled nicely. I love them in the pods as well. I usually have both in my freezer, and I just will do a big batch of pods, steam them, put some butter and some of that Japanese spice on top, and oh, I'm in heaven. But anyhow, we're popping in those edamame pre-peeled into there. I think the recipe calls for them in the pod, but hey, look, pre-peeled, that's what we're going to be doing anyhow. So that's done, and then going to next. It wants me now to pop the aroma into position. Now, before I do that, do you remember I said I was going to add a bit of chicken? So I want to nip that out. And I've just got, it was just a bit of leftover chicken I had in the fridge. Didn't want to waste it, sliced it up. So for you that are following my notebook nuggets, this is a little nugget for you. When you're adding some thinly sliced chicken to your Thermomix broth, about 10-12 minutes. That's all it needs to cook. So if you've got chicken and stuff left over, don't be afraid of using those leftovers in what you're making. Okay.
And Rhonda, Colette's making a ramen.
So that's done. So pop back in our edamame beans. Pop the lid back on. Remember, lining up. All right, and then we get our aroma. Now, if you haven't seen this already, fabulous. It's 45% bigger than our previous aromas, and that means you can steam quite comfortably 6 pieces of salmon here, and underneath loads of veggies, whereas before you were quite restricted, but now we're not. So following the instructions here, we're going to put the dish, so that's the dish, that's the tray on top, hitting next. Now into here we are going to put our veggies that are going to go with this beautiful ramen. Now I couldn't find Chinese broccoli, but I did have some broccolini in the fridge which I've chopped up nice and small, and all I'm going to do is pop those over to one side of my aroma. So I've done that. Okay, and next, and then we're going to put some just thinly cut carrots, because remember, if you've got thick cut carrots or carrot battens, they're going to take longer to cook. These are going to cook in the time that we've got, which is about 10-12 minutes. So in go the carrots, and I'm keeping them all kind of separate. And hitting next. All right, now it wants me to pop in the tray. So I'm just going to follow along. I mean, because I'm using smaller quantities, what else have I got to go in? Yeah, it might be a bit too much. I'm going to put the tray in, but you could just use that. But remember, whenever you use a aroma on the dish, the only way the heat circulates is through these holes. So you must make sure you've got gaps. If you cover all those holes, it means the steam can't get up to cook the veggies. So that's all happy, that's all in place, looking good. Now before I seal that off, I'm going to have a little bit of seasoning, and that's going to lift those up beautifully. On goes the dish as instructed.
The tray.
Oh, sorry, thank you, Andrew. The aroma tray, and now we are going to add into here. So it says enoki mushrooms. Dear old Woolies didn't have enoki mushrooms for me, so I've got some shiitake, which are going to give it a nice flavour. So enoki mushrooms are those ones that look like little straws, white straws with a little cap on top. Very, very thin. They're beautiful. Very mild, delicate flavour. So I'm going to sprinkle on these mushrooms. Okay, that's done. And going next. And then we're going to add in some bok choy. So I love the little baby bok choy, and I've just sliced that up. And then that's the last bit that's going to go into the tray. And of course, we need to just season that up a little bit. And a bit of pepper. Excellent. So next, now we are going to pop on the lid. And now this is going to cook for about 10 minutes. Now with the TM7, we have this beautiful new mode called steaming. And in the steaming mode, you can select whether you're using just the varoma, just the simmering basket, or both. And you can see here, it's automatically selected both because I know it does that. And it's just going to give you a better steam. So it's a great mode, and also in that beautiful chop mode, now that you can see, on the this is TM7 again, but you've got the chop mode in your, I wonder if I can access it, yeah. In your TM6s, the chop mode is there, which is great, but we've also got this kind of steaming element here. So if I, for example, put down, okay, look at cauliflower, I've got steamed here, and if I click on that, it will take you and step you through what to do, and then it automatically calculates the steaming time for you. I love that feature. I hope it comes to the TM6 really soon, because it just makes things so much easier. Love it. All right, so I'm going to go back and back home. One of the other things that I really love about the TM7, there's so much I love about the TM7. I really love it. How many times do I tell you that, Andy? I love the TM7. And Andy, when he's watching footy and I'm cooking here, he says, I love the TM7 too. It's so quiet. It doesn't interfere with my footy. But here in our kind of settings mode, we've got beautiful tutorials. So it takes you through exactly how to use the TM7. Takes you through Cookidoo, all sorts of things that you can learn, meal planning. So there's so many resources built into this machine that make it super easy. And with people that are buying a Thermomix from me, what I actually do is I have a really detailed video that goes from unboxing step by step all the way through to that first cook, showing them how to do the first cook, setting it up, the whole lot. And I send that to them once they order, and then they get to watch it again just before it arrives. And most of them are saying it's the easiest Thermomix that they've ever had. It is. It's very straightforward to use, and I absolutely love that. All right, so let's now go back to this recipe And we can see up here in my little cook station, I've got about 7.5 minutes still to go. Any questions that I can answer there, Andy? Nothing at the moment? All right, so now often what I would normally do, and for some reason I didn't do it today, with that chicken stock, I would have just heated it up before I put it in. And what that does, it gives everything much more of a head start. So rather than having the time for that to come up to temperature, it's at temperature, the cooking starts. And you'll find your veggies and everything else will be cooked much better. So that's a little tip. In your notebook nugget, liquids, add them warm at least to your Thermomix bowl, except when you're doing potatoes. With potatoes, if you add in warm liquids, what you'll find is the outsides will be cooked, but the insides won't. All right, so carrying on with that. Okay, so I'm going to be popping this into our new thermoserver. It is heavier, more solid, and it keeps your food much hotter for longer. It is very, very good. And one of the nice things about it, so I went to a branch meeting a little while ago, and I made something up for us all to eat, because let's face it, our branch meeting is about connection, having fun together, and of course food. So in here we have our little handle, so it meant I could quite comfortably pop my food in here, just locking the handle with this, and it was secure for traveling. So that was a really great thing. So great if you're taking something to a party or a barbecue. Now this has got about, I can hear it now, it's bubbling away, it's heating up, and it is unlocked, so I could take it all off if I wanted to, but I'm just going to continue with that. So I'm going to be using that. Now these, I believe, are available to buy in the mix shop. I'm sure I saw them in the mix shop, but they're also available as a host reward. So contact your consultant. If you don't have one, contact me, and if you're my customer, contact me. What we can do is we can do a beautiful demo. I've got a number of different demos that we can pick from with different themes. You'll learn more if you get at least 2 people there with you that are, you know, a little bit curious to see what this thing is all about and what the cult is all about. What it means is that you can be eligible for a host reward, and if one of your 2 guests end up buying, you get that for free. And if no one buys at your demo just yet because they're thinking or whatever, you will be able to get one of these at a significantly discounted price. I think it's either $30 or $50. I can't quite remember. I'm bad. Okay, I should know that. All right, so that's a great thing. And the other little thing that is new to the mix shop, might as well tell you this while we're waiting, is these guys. So these are our new tea towels. And I've been trialing them out and using them. What I like about them is how big they are. So you can just tie them up. They're very thick and very absorbent. So, you know, you'll dry things off quickly and easily. I must confess, I'm still getting used to the size. I find it quite big. But the other side of it is I'm getting like drying done so much better, so much quicker, because it is so absorbent. So that's what the new tea towels are like, just in case you're wondering. Sometimes I feel it's a bit like a towel, but pretty good. But I am getting used to the size. That's the thing I'm not so sure about. And the other thing that's coming into the mix shop soon, which I'm excited about. Now, you know, if you're following me, I've been saying this for about a year. My little super cubes, the things that I do my freezing in little different sizes. There is a version, a Thermomix version of those coming to the mix shop soon. So that's really very, very exciting. Now I can smell this, and it is beginning to smell absolutely delicious. We haven't got much longer to go. 3 minutes here. Now Andrew's gone off to water the garden and just left me here. That's terrible. I can't see whether you've got any questions just yet. I'll have to have words with him. Okay, just have a little drink of water. Now, the next step to this is we are going to be adding our noodles. Now you can use the dry noodles and you can buy the ramen noodles. You can even buy the 2-minute noodles and pop those in here. That will be fine. I'm actually using fresh ramen noodles. These are surprisingly easy to make. You can also buy them. Pop in the comments. I've never thought of doing a class on how to make these noodles. And they just taste, they have that little bit extra bite to them. They're not sloppy, they're so nice. Just like when you make your own pasta, and nothing beats that. So if this is something that would interest you, just pop it in the comments and maybe we'll do a live on making these kind of noodles, which are very, very delicious. Okay, 2 minutes to go, Andrew. Where did you go?
Rubbish out.
Put the rubbish out. Well, this is the thing you see with the Thermomix. As it's cooking, you get all this time. So, although I'm standing here wondering what to say, if you were at home, you'd be off doing all sorts of different things.
This is a Cookidoo recipe.
This is a Cookidoo recipe. It's from our plant-based cookbook. So, if you want to keep this vegetarian, use your vegetarian stock or filtered water as they suggest. But I do feel you want to ump the flavour a little bit in this one. And all I've done today is I've added in some little bit of chicken, and I've used chicken broth, homemade chicken broth.
And an onion.
And an onion, thank you. You are watching, you are good, thank you. And an onion. So, all right, so you all know with limes, I need to use some of this lime. Now what I would normally do, I would look at what I want to do with this lime, and at the moment I'm going to use all of this for different things with the skin on. If I wasn't, what I would do is I'd get my zester and zest this up, sprinkle it, freeze it. Lime zest is a great thing to add to so many things, but this time this is mainly for decoration on the plate and maybe for a little squeeze afterwards. So I'm just going to go straight in and I'm going to cut a nice wedge off.
Okay. What are you waiting for?
I'm just thinking, I don't know, just thinking, I cut that, but that's fine. It's just decoration. And remember with your little chopping boards, get one of those little non-slip mats so things don't slip. Alright, so heading next. So now what we're going to do, we're nearly finished guys, so thanks for your patience. So we're now going to remove the varoma, and I can see the steam coming out. When you remove your varoma, you want to make sure the steam comes away from your face. You use that as your trivet, and we're going to pop all of that down here. And while I am doing that, I'm just going to give this just a little bit of a mix, but I can see that's cooking down lovely. The mushrooms have softened, and then underneath the broccoli, which I just also want to just give a little move around to. That's looking good. All right, so remove varoma. Okay, remove the simmering basket. Now I have to confess, backwards I find this quite hard. When it's forward and I'm using it all the time, I don't. You have a hook on your spatula, and it's not normally as hard. I struggle with it backwards. All right, managed to do it today. Oh my gosh, that ramen looks great.
That smells beautiful. It just hit me in the face.
So I'm just going to pop this down here. That's with the edamame beans. I'll just show you how that ramen is looking. Yum, hey? Delicious. All right, so now the next stage is we're going to add our noodles, but I need to taste. Always taste, always taste. Okay.
What was it look for?
I'm going to double dip because it's just Andrew and I. A little taste. So it's got other stuff to go in there yet, Andy. So I'm taking out the star anise. Lots of flavour in there.
That's a nice little chilli.
I know the chilli hit there because I've got extra chilli in.
No, the chilli's great.
And then at this stage, I also just want to check my chicken.
It's quite salty.
Yeah. So there you go. That's the chicken. There's little bits of chicken all cooked through beautifully. So that's looking exactly as I want it, tasting beautiful. So now we're going to drop in our noodles. So I'm going to put the scales up. I don't know how many I took out of the freezer. So 50, 60, so about 80 grams. Okay, that's fine. 90 grams. That's fine.
Are you right today?
I am.
It's a bit more dithery than usual.
Oh, am I? Oh, because of the lime and the noodles. For a bit more, that's fine. Don't forget we've got all our veggies to go in there too. All right, so that's done. Now, these made noodles will take about 2 to 3 minutes to cook, and that's it. So place aroma back into position. Next. All right, so we're going to do as we are told. I'm going to taste one of the edamame beans. Love those. That goes back on. Lid goes on.
There was a question asked earlier on about the lid to your to the basket. Normally you take those lids off.
Yeah, I haven't done it with the TM7 because I already have some with the lid off, and yeah, normally I do. I do prefer them off, but let's not go there. All right, so now what I want to do, I'm at this stage here, but I don't want to cook for 5 minutes. I need to change that instruction, so I'm going to hit that instruction. I'm going to go to the time, and I'm just going to put 1, 2, 3. Oh no, let's go back. There you go, 3 minutes. And that's all fine. So now I'm going to hit continue, and now it's changed to 3 minutes for me. So it's cooking. It looks as though it's not cooking, but it is cooking. And then the next stage is to remove all our bits and pieces, and then we can start to assemble. Okay. So let's get rid of this one.
You always know when something has a nice flavour to it because it lingers. So even like a couple of minutes after I tried that, I've still got that ramen soup flavour lingering in my mouth.
Yeah. So because I use chicken stock, it's kind of a bit deeper and richer than your typical ramens, but because it's a quick ramen, if I was just using water, it would be such a light kind of taste to it. So that's why I've upped it with the chicken stock, or I suggest vegetable stock, whichever way you want to go. So
lots of people are saying, yes, ramen noodles live, please.
Okay, that would be a fun one to do, I think. Well, it's just a general noodle one, egg noodles and stuff like that. Very nice, yep. Okay. So I've got my plate for serving up. I'm just serving up a small portion for now. Nearly there, guys. So if anybody is thinking of getting a TM7 in their kitchen before Christmas, which is a good time to get it, you don't want it under the tree, you want it before Christmas. I have tomorrow at 11 o'clock on Zoom, got a live demo. If you're an Australian resident, you're welcome to come along and learn more about this and how it might benefit you in your kitchen. So please head over to my Facebook page. You'll find the registration link there, and I hope to see you. No sales pressure, by the way. Just information, and you can decide, at least you know what you're missing out.
I'm just want to show everyone just looking out at a dog here. He's sunning himself.
Been out there this morning, isn't he?
Yeah. He's loving the sun. Nice and warm. It's such a beautiful day. What's the weather like where everyone else is?
It's gorgeous. So someone in my herb comment yesterday said they regrow their spring onions. So I'm going to try that little trick. I'll let you know how I go. So very exciting.
Someone in your herb?
So yesterday when I did my herb I did a little Facebook
Oh, did you?
live with
Okay.
my herbs. And there's some great feedback and comments, which I'm sure everyone's learned from. So that was good. Okay, so now everything is done. And then you kind of go through and it tells you exactly what to do, which is what I'm going to do now. So again, away from your face. That's all good. Let's take this off. And the first step that we're going to do is into our bowl. We're going to put some of these goodies. So remember, I'm just cooking here for two, but I'm just doing a small portion. some beautiful you. And then just some broccolini, some carrots. Yum. Okay, so that's my veggies, and now from, I'm going to move these up to here. Take out this again. Now, when you do take your basket out, there's one thing you want to remember. With the TM6, it used to be this kind of action. With the TM7, it's this kind of action. So it's always a bit hard for me doing this back to front, but yeah, I'll try. There we go. Okay, so out comes that. Okay, and then we've got a little hole here that we can comfortably flip that lid. So I'm going to add some of my favourite edamame beans. So all those lovely veggies are in there. And then I'm going to get my lovely ladle from the Lick Shop. I'm sure, actually, I know lots of you have been buying this ladle. It is really good. And what makes it unique is how narrow it is. So it gets in between the blades, and of course it's deep and holds a lot. So I'm now going to grab some of this beautiful ramen. And we're going to pop that in. A bit more noodles there, a bit more chicken. And pour in a soup of this. Oh, there's loads in there still. Amazing, good portion sizing. Alright, so that is our lovely soup. Just kind of mix it up so you can see some of that lovely green and orange in there. And then just to finish that off, you know I love my sprinkles. Sprinkles make everything better. So sprinkles today are going to be some chopped up spring onions and a little bit more chili, which will be just lovely. And then a little bit of sesame seeds. So there you go. That is usually, if I'm not yabbering away, is made in half an hour. And it is a great midweek dinner. I'm sure everyone will just love this. So again, just beautiful. Do I want to eat this? Absolutely. We're going to tuck in, Andy, do you want a little taste?
Yes, of course I do.
You have a taste and tell us what you think. I eat these lovely edamame beans. Oh, I love those. So good. Oh.
Well, you get the depth of flavour and the different textures, and that soup is just superb.
And you know how honest he is. If I do something that's not nice, he tells you. So you know when he says that, he's really loving it.
I'm just trying to make sure I get a bit of everything.
So, a beautiful dish. Absolutely beautiful dish. And we should have our chopsticks out. Oh yeah, it's very
so wholesome.
tasty. Really good. So when you look at the reviews for this, you'll see that it's around about the 3 mark. And remember, when you are, let me just finish this recipe.
What does that mean, 3?
I'll show everybody right now. So if I come down here, cancel out of that recipe.
What are you doing? I can eat some more.
So on your screen here, you've got, this is the reviews, 3.5 reviews. Now there's no comments or anything. I wish you could put comments in, but we can't. But what you can actually do is click on the stars. Can you see that, Andy? Is it tilted all right on the phone?
Oops, right.
Yeah. Okay. Did you all see? I'm just going to go.
These noodles are just so well cooked.
So you just click on the stars. You've got your rating reviews come up. Now I'm going to give that 5 out of 5 because I've bumped up that flavour and it is delicious. And then I'm going to submit that, and then that's taken into account. So it's really good for you to review. But don't always discount maybe the low reviews, because you can add flavour, you can do things a little bit differently, and you will end up with a great recipe. So there you go, my friends, that's me. There isn't going to be a live tomorrow because it's footy day, and we're going to have lots of fun in the house. So you enjoy the rest of your weekend. Consider coming along 11 o'clock tomorrow to the Zoom if you haven't yet got a TM7 and are curious. I'd love to show you and tell you more. And you can head to my blog, thermikitchen.com, and that's THERMIE. And in there's more information about the TM7, all our various payment plans, and just heaps more videos and God knows what else, lots of recipes too. So my name is Collette Mitrega. Thank you for joining me today. I really appreciate you spending your time on a Saturday or catching up later on. Please, you know what I'm going to say. It makes the world of difference. Please hit that share button. It's just such a powerful thing for my business if you can do that one small little act. Thanks, guys. Have a beautiful weekend. See you again soon. Goodbye, Andrew. Say goodbye.
Goodbye. That's definitely that's 5 out of 5.
You really like it. It is
Yeah,
so
it's
delicious.
just. And you went to a restaurant, you have that, and you'd be saying, "Oh, I'm coming back."
I agree. I think it's absolutely stunning.